I could be like stomach virus. I could be like aching. Like I was constantly in a lot of physical pain, but when I put that on, I was just like, no, this is popping. I'm doing it. There are also corners that are like, give someone else a turn. Can't you just go away so we can talk about how good you were? I'm like, I don't want to. My third favorite person, and it's not in any order because I do talk to him a lot more than the other two, is Travis. I can talk to him about any of this, you know?
Get ready to step into the glittery whirlwind that is Taylor Swift's life. From heart-melting romance with Travis Kelce to wardrobe magic that could double as superhero armor, we're breaking down her jaw-dropping late show revelations, her audiobook obsession, and the Eras Tour outfit that basically saved her from collapsing mid-concert. Buckle up, this is Taylor like you've never seen her before. Taylor hit the Late Show like it was her own personal victory lap, strolling in all velvet and sparkles, ready to drop updates that had fans clutching their imaginary pearls. And she didn't waste a second before sliding into the topic everyone wants her to spill on right now, Travis. Yep, she's calling him the love of her life, and she says it's like it's the most natural thing in the world. According to insiders, she's been feeling extra grateful lately, and it shows. She chatters about how wild it feels to be engaged to someone who's basically been her biggest hype man since day one, and how these moments weren't guaranteed, which hits even harder coming from her.
That's a good year. Like, those two things that you just mentioned, right? Like, getting engaged to the love of my life, getting all my music back. Those were two things that just never could have happened.
The engagement ring? Apparently Travis designed it himself, because of course he did. And while he was the one who shot his shot first, she's been matching that energy all along, from award show shout-outs to sprinting onto the field after huge wins. And speaking of that energy, Swifties swear she's turning the romance dial up even higher with her latest outfit detective-level Easter egg hunt. The moment she strutted onto Colbert's stage, fans went full FBI, zooming in on every sparkle like they were solving a national mystery, and boom! The big discovery wasn't the velvet mini or the skyscraper heels, but that sneaky little bracelet on her right hand. Apparently, it's opalite, the same dreamy milky blue vibe she used when she dropped that upbeat track everyone knows she wrote for Travis. So now the theory is that she's basically wearing a Travis tribute on the opposite wrist of her engagement ring, like she's balancing her emotional chakras with jewelry. Fans immediately went wild, insisting she's got a piece of Trav on both hands, while others screamed that this has to mean an opalite music video is incoming. And speaking of Easter eggs and secret messages, Swifties were in for another jaw-dropper when Taylor started spilling the tea on just how brutal the Eras Tour really was. Apparently she was sick multiple times during the run, but canceling shows? Not an option. She made a vow at the start of the tour. Every single night she was going on stage full throttle, no half-hearted 6 out of 10 performances allowed. Fans got the glitter, the sequins, the choreography, all while she was fighting stomach flu like a champ.
For me, when I'm on tour, especially the Eras Tour, I just make a decision at the beginning of the tour that there's no option to not go on stage. Mm-hmm. That's not an option. And it's not an option to perform. I mean, you're not like, oh, I think I'll do this show at like a level 6 tonight. That's not an option. Even if you have like the stomach flu, which I had multiple times during the tour, my goal was like, never let them know you have the stomach flu.
Over 100 shows later, and Taylor didn't just survive, she thrived, adding new twists like the Tortured Poets department mid-tour, proving she can cram more eras into a set than anyone sane would attempt. One cancellation in Austria only happened because apparently there was a legit plot that made security freak out. Otherwise, she would have been on stage even if the world was falling apart. After surviving illness, insane schedules, and cramming more eras into a single show than anyone sane can handle, Taylor finally spilled how she actually spent all that Eras Tour cash. And it's the ultimate flex. Forget yachts or diamond-studded furniture. She dropped the big bucks on something way more iconic, her music masters. Yep, all that glitter, sequins, and sweat translated into finally owning the rights to her first 6 albums, something she's been chasing like a plot twist for years. Apparently it's the kind of dream move only a pop queen could pull off, and sources say she's still giddy about the full autonomy. No strings, no middlemen, just her and her music.
You know, and my fans are why I was able to get my music back, you know. That's how I spent that Eras Tour money, so.
And it wasn't just her bank account that benefited. Her crew reportedly raked in nearly $200 million in bonuses, while fans got memories they'll be bragging about forever. from friendship bracelets to post-show joy blackouts that had everyone buzzing. Taylor even admitted she didn't fully expect the emotional tsunami of the Eras Tour. It wasn't just a concert, it was a full-on escape hatch from real life, powered by the fans who made it all possible.
It was really just the most special, phenomenal feeling every single night being on that tour, and I'm really glad we get to relive it.
And after cashing in on the Eras Tour and snagging her masters, Taylor made it crystal clear that stepping back, not happening. According to insiders, when haters start whining about her cranking out too much music, she just shrugs and drops her icy four-word mic drop, "I don't want to." And honestly, can you blame her? Between slaying stadiums for hours, juggling 10 eras per show, and still somehow looking flawless in velvet and sequins, she's basically untouchable.
There are also corners that are like, give someone else a turn. Can't you just go away so we can talk about how good you were? And I'm like, I don't want to.
Her inner circle, Travis Kelce, Stevie Nicks, and a few ride-or-die crew members, are the wind beneath her glitter wings, keeping her sane while she racks up milestone after milestone. And after laying down her icy four-word shutdown like a boss, Taylor wasn't done flexing her creative muscles. Right after The Late Show, she pivoted into full-on literary chaos, pitching Stephen Colbert the wildest mystery novel concept ever. Apparently, she can't stop thinking in plot twists, a house cloaked in ivy, an off-the-coast of Maine vibe, a mistress who's secretly family, mysterious drownings, and ghosts popping up like uninvited stage guests. She was practically buzzing, spinning the whole thing like a storyboard for a thriller that only she could dream up. Grim, convoluted, and deliciously over the top.
I feel like you're gonna write a really amazing mystery thriller where there's a house and it's covered in ivy, right?
Maybe off the coast of Maine?
There's a mistress there.
Wow.
Right?
Yeah.
But actually, she's related to them. But it's grim, right? And then somebody falls off a cliff. Oh no, it was a ghost.
Colbert, reportedly scribbling furiously, got the full Swift treatment. Cliff falls, hidden twins, inheritance shenanigans, and yes, apparently someone dies in almost every chapter for dramatic effect. She even quipped about giving him half the royalties if it sells, proving she negotiates like a boss whether it's music, tours, or murder mysteries.
It sells, I'll give you half the royalties.
And after plotting haunted mansions, cliff-diving ghosts, and family betrayals for Colbert's new mystery novel, Taylor apparently left him shook in a completely different way. The Late Show host dropped what insiders are calling the wildest Taylor confession ever. And no, it wasn't about her albums, tours, or even the opalite bracelet. Colbert spilled that he would literally leap off a cliff into a pit of spikes for Taylor, and he wasn't joking about the dramatic flair.
And I would jump off a cliff into a pit of spikes for that woman.
Turns out this came from a decade-old moment when Taylor gave his then 14-year-old daughter a straight-up magical 30-second spotlight, complimenting her outfit, making her feel like a superstar, and leaving Colbert basically starstruck for life. He's carried that mini Swift fan encounter around like a sacred relic, insisting her kindness permanently rewired his dad of a teen brain.
And so we get up, and I walk over, and Taylor's talking to somebody, and as somebody walks away, I just say, "Taylor, hi, Stephen Colbert, thanks so much for the album. I really appreciate it. May I introduce my daughter?" And Madeline's wearing this little, sweet, young, teenage little blue dress, and Taylor, of course, looks like just a queen. And she turns around, she goes, "Oh, pretty girl," and comes and puts her arms around her and goes, "Oh my God, you look amazing. And she just praises my daughter for how she looks 30 seconds.
People who have met her apparently hit the same note. From fellow celebs to random restaurant staff, everyone walks away feeling like Taylor just leveled up humanity. And after Colbert basically declared he'd willingly dive into a pit of spikes for her, Taylor pivoted into a slightly less lethal but equally intense area, life advice. She leaned back in her velvet throne and spilled that her ultimate go-to guru isn't some random celeb gossip columnist or a TikTok life coach, but none other than Stevie Nicks, the 77-year-old Fleetwood Mac legend who basically invented cool wisdom. Taylor treats Stevie like a magical Yoda, calling her for perspective, comparing notes on career chaos, and just soaking in that decades of rock and roll savvy.
I've been very lucky. I have Stevie Nicks in my life in a way that affects me positively constantly.
Apparently she vibes with Stevie's been there, survived that, still fabulous energy, finding through lines in all her experiences, and it constantly shapes Taylor's own choices, whether it's tours, albums, or handling Twitter drama. Sources add that Taylor's circle also includes her ride-or-die pals like Sabrina Carpenter, who gush about leaning on her for career hacks and sanity checks. Taylor reportedly jokes that instead of tweeting grievances, she'd rather hash it out in a song, proving that even advice from pop royalty still passes through the Taylor Swift filter. Full sparkle, zero chill. And after soaking up all the wisdom from Stevie and her ride-or-die crew, Taylor apparently slipped into a different kind of escape hatch, audiobooks. Sources say she's basically living in the Audible app, bouncing from one story to the next like a kid in a candy store, and the second she finishes one, she's already diving into the next. Apparently the darker, twisty tales with haunted mansions, secret pasts, and shady marriages are her jam. Think big Daphne du Maurier vibes, ghostly whispers in ivy-covered rooms, and plot twists that make you spill your tea. Taylor loves unreliable narrators, mysterious deaths, and messy relationships, basically everything that fuels her songwriting brain while keeping her entertained on planes, in hotel rooms, and between studio sessions. Colbert reportedly joked that she practically needs someone to read them aloud, and she's all in for that, paging every audiobook narrator within earshot. And after deep diving into audiobooks like a literary ninja, Taylor segued into a topic that's a little more glitz and glam meets body armor, her ultimate Eras Tour outfit. She singled out the sparkly Versace bodysuit from the lover portion of the tour as the MVP of her wardrobe, basically a sequin force field that turned her aching virus-ridden self into a glittering superhero. Apparently every pink, blue, purple, and orange crystal was strategically placed to channel maximum dreamy energy, and insiders claim slipping it on instantly made her feel untouchable, even if her body was screaming, "Help me."
This tour, I got to wear this like very sparkly Versace bodysuit, and anytime I put it on, I could be like coughing from a horrible virus. I could be like stomach virus. I could be like aching. Like I was constantly in a lot of physical pain, but when I put that on, I was just like, no, this is popping. I'm doing it. Like, we're going.
Taylor reportedly compared the vibe to one of her first big stage looks, a throwback to when she belted the national anthem at 12, and she found it hilarious that her younger self was basically foreshadowing stadium-level sparkle domination. Colbert allegedly whipped out a photo for reference, and Taylor joked about being taller now and knowing more words.
Like, this was my national anthem performance outfit, so it was like, I'd be walking in, and I'd just be like, this is the one. Like, if I got my look on, and it's kind of similar to how I feel about the first look that I got to wear in the Eras Tour.
But sources insist the real magic was how the lover bodysuit turned pain into pizzazz, letting her strut through 149 shows across 5 continents like a sequin juggernaut. That's all for this video, folks. We'll see you next time.